Okay, so I make it past, so I'm going to make a start. If anybody else joins, I can always do a quick recap, but Emma, you might cover some of the things that I'm going to chat about as well. So first of all, thank you for attending our virtual open event. Obviously, we would much prefer to welcome you into our college and show you our facilities and give you that chance to meet the staff and see where you'd be studying next year. But unfortunately, this is the next best thing. So hopefully you do get everything from this session that you would get if you'd have come along to an open event. If there's anything you're not sure of or anything you feel we don't cover in our presentations, please feel free to pop a question into the chat facility or the Q&A facility. That's what they're there for. If there's anything you're not sure of on your application or anything like that, I'm going to share an admissions email address with you at the end of my presentation. So if you want to make a note of that at all. So I'm just going to start by sharing my screen. So now you should be able to see a PowerPoint, or it should be loading on your screen. I'm just going to run through this really quickly and then I'll pass over to Emma. So first of all, thank you for joining us on our virtual session. We're really pleased that you are considering coming to study at St Helens next year. So hopefully this will give you all of the information that you need to make that choice. First of all, applications are still open, so if you've not yet applied for your place or you've applied for a different course and now you're wanting to study photography, you can put your application in at that link at the bottom of the screen. We would recommend applying sooner rather than later, as places do fill up, and when you apply you will get a telephone interview and that sort of thing. So the sooner you apply, the more time we've got to get things in place for you for your enrolment. So obviously you're here today to hear about photography, but just to make you aware that we do offer a lot of different courses across our campuses. So the information on the screen at the moment is everything that we deliver through St Helens College. So there's obviously quite a lot of creative art type of subjects up on the screen at the moment for you to have a look into. So information for you. So as a student at St Helens College, these are the things that you will benefit from. So all of our students get a free breakfast. That's if you're in on time. So if your class is starting at 9 o'clock and you get in before 8:45, you'll get a free breakfast. So that'll just set you up for the day. You will be entitled to free transport for college. So all of our students get a free bus pass or the use of our free college bus. So if you are on one of our free college bus routes, you'll get a pass for that, and that covers Wigan, St Helens, Knowsley. If you're not on one of our free college bus routes, you will get a free Arriva bus pass. So all of our students have free transport to get you into college. You'll also be entitled to a free Microsoft Office 365 package, so covering all of the things like Word and that sort of thing. You can download all of that onto your computer for free. So if you've got a computer or a laptop at home, you can download that to use for your coursework and that sort of thing. Obviously, we're not entirely sure on government guidance and things like that for coronavirus, so hopefully all of our students can come in from September, but if any of our stuff is done on online training, that should help you as well. Student discount. So as a student, you will be entitled to discounts in places like restaurants, the cinema, clothes shops. So your college pass will give you that benefit. And then at the bottom, you'll see bursaries, free college lunch, and assistance to buy course equipment and uniforms. So they're all done off a financial assessment for each of our students, and that's quite different for each individual. So you may or may not be entitled to those, depending on the outcome of your financial assessment. That's all done at enrolment stage, so you will know at the beginning of the year if you are entitled to that. And those support that is just there to support people with things like if there's any cost, if you need to buy any equipment for your course, or if you wear a uniform for your course or anything along those lines. Like I say, that is each person that does a financial assessment for that. So at college we have an excellent safeguarding and wellbeing team. They're on hand to support you with any issues that you may have. So whether that's something that's going on in your personal life, or whether it's something with college, if you're feeling a little bit stressed out, you just need a little bit of support, someone to talk to, our safeguarding and wellbeing team are there to support all of our students and our staff. So any issues that you may have, there's somebody there that can support you at college. They work across all of our campuses as well, so St Helens and Knowsley. We also have a learner support team as well at college. So if you have any additional learning needs, whether that's something like dyslexia or anything like that, where you might need a little bit of support in class, or you might need support with exams or extra time in your exams, anything along those lines, we can put that support in place. You would need to be honest with us at enrolment stage, because again, that's something that we need to put in place from the beginning of the year. So the sooner you tell us, the sooner we can sort that for you. And then just finally, before I pass over to Emma, you'll just see on the screen at the minute a list of our social media accounts. So all of our social media accounts are kept up to date with any information on college, but also things like success stories from our past students. So when our students go on to employment and that sort of thing, we always push things out. So if a student's gone above and beyond, or they've been involved in a project or anything like that, we'll post it on our social media accounts, obviously with their permission. So you might get a little bit of inspiration by looking through them. So if you want to go on and have a little look at our social media accounts, please do so. And finally, you'll see the admissions email. So like I mentioned a little bit earlier, if you have any questions on your application, if you've changed your mind on your course that you've applied for, anything along those lines, you can contact our admissions team and they will always put you in touch with the right person, and we can help you any way that we can through admissions. We also have our staff are contacting our students or applicants at the moment. So if you've applied for college but you've not yet had your interview, you will be contacted within the next week or so to do your telephone interview. If you already had an interview, you don't need to worry about that. If you've not, please keep a lookout for that. It will probably come through off an unknown number, so please do make sure that you answer, because it's important that we have your interview with you before you come and start with us. If you don't hear from us by, I would say, the end of this week, so Friday the 10th of July, please drop us an email at admissions@sthelens.ac.uk, because it could be that we've got the wrong details on the system for you. It could be in a typo when you've applied or anything like that. Okay, so that's the end of my short presentation. I'm going to pass over to Emma. Emma is going to cover all of the information on the course, so the fun and interesting stuff that you'll really want to know about. And then if there's anything that you feel hasn't been covered, or if there's any questions, whether that's to do with kit, class, anything, pop it into the Q&A or the chat facility and we'll answer as best as we can. So I'm going to mute myself now and pass you over to Emma. Thanks.
Hello, as Bethan has already said, my name is Emma, and I run the level 3 in photography at St Helens College. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share my screen with you, and I have got a presentation which I am going to go through. And as we've said before, is any questions that you may have, maybe make a note down, and then you can ask me or Bethan them at the end. Okay, so the level 3 photography course is an extended diploma. And you know, you might be thinking, well, what is that? Okay, so the extended diploma is a 2-year course, and it is art and design. If you were to come on this course, your certificate at the end of those 2 years, or 1 year, because you can study a 1 year in this course, it would say art and design, but it is basically photography bias. It is level 3. And I know at the age of 16, 17, there is a bit of conversation, a bit of confusion what a level 3 is, or what a level 2 is. A level 3, it's a vocational qualification, so it's quite practical, and it is the equivalent of 3 A levels. So if you were to come and study with us, basically you would learn everything photography for the next 2 years, and you would get enough qualifications at level 3 to either go on to photography at uni, or you could even apply to apprenticeship or prepare for employment. There has been a big change this year. We are moving to what we call a new sort of specification, a way that it's run, and the qualification is solely coursework based. Okay, so there is no external exams. In the last few years, we've had to do sort of practical exams, and they've had to be sent off and delivered and marked by the board. But this is all on site, and it's all coursework based. Okay. As with most BTECs, it's marked pass, merit and distinction, and a lot of it is coursework based, as I've said, and you'll do a variety of different assignments and things, which I'll go through a little bit further down the presentation. So that's just an overview, okay? So what it is, what you'll do, and where it can possibly take you, okay? So a really big key question is where will you learn, okay? So as I've said, we are based at St Helens College. We are on the town centre campus in the art department. On the second floor, we're in a nice building called the SKB building above the library, and it is a very nice space. And within that space, okay, there are a range of spaces, rooms, okay, so photographic studios, dark room, digital facilities, because obviously you need them when you are learning photographic skills and techniques, and basically learning how to be a photographer, how to be a visual communicator, okay, because that's what it is basically, that's what we do. So you'll learn in those spaces, okay. In terms of what that will look like, as Bethan has said before, we're not necessarily sure fully what that will look like, we'll be quite honest at the moment because of the situation that we're in. But you do move through those because you need to, okay. You need access to lights and things like that. So where will I learn? Okay, well, independent learning, okay. So in terms of that, yes, you'll learn at college, yes, you'll do coursework, yes, you'll be set assignments, but a key factor here with any level 3 course or any college course is that you have to do some work as well. You have to do some work in your study periods, you have to do some work at home, because this will make you and help you develop your skill set, your photography skills, okay. As we say, what you put in is what you get out, okay. So it's as much as us working with you, but you've got to put some effort and some work back in, okay. We call it a partnership. It's not me telling you what to do all the time. It is a relationship. It is back and forth, okay. And it will set you up for the next stage, whatever that may be for you, okay. So on the course, we do your studies, very much everything to help you become a better visual communicator, and the things that we do try to do is getting out and about, okay. So where we can, we visit galleries, we do day trips where you can shoot on location, and everything is relevant to what you're doing at the time. So projects, it could be project themes, it could be a certain skill that we're teaching you, because it is photography and we do have to teach you these things as much outside and on location, just as much as in the classroom. You know, we have guest lecturers, seminars, people coming in to talk about industry, work experience opportunities. We have in the past, and hopefully will continue to do, have a lot of projects with clients. Like last year we had the students have done a big visual mural for St Helens train station, but it's not been put up yet. Photographs all around St Helens. The work is published, and you do work with clients where we can, okay. So that's all part of an addition, I would say, to enrich your studies, to enrich your learning. So to become a photographer, okay, or to study the course, okay, you will need your own equipment, okay, and materials. That doesn't mean you have to all go and rush out and buy a really expensive camera or really expensive equipment, okay. I do want to reassure you that we do have a certain amount of cameras on site for when you first start. But what we would say is that if this is the course for you and you're progressing into your second year and you're either going to HE or you want to start a career as a freelance photographer or go and work for a company, etc., we would expect you by the end of the second year to start getting your own kit. And what we mean by is a starter photography camera, a professional camera. So don't panic on one instance, but in the forefront, it should be in the back of your mind. We do have a lot of equipment. We have lights and all those things, okay? But you know, there's obviously with every course is an essential course kit, okay? And for those of you that have already applied or those that choose to do apply, I do send out a resources kit list over the summer, so you're sort of prepared and you sort of have an idea and time to sort of get those things that you need, okay? The most essential thing, and it's really basic, is the pencil case, okay? You know, you're coming to college and things like that, I would expect you to have that with you. Pens, pencils, you know, sharpener, scissors, glue, believe it or not, masking tape, these are essential things for a creative, okay? Digital tools, so though we don't expect you to get a camera, and we do have certain things on site, it would help you to purchase your own sort of SD card and reader and a memory stick, so you're prepared on that side to be able to keep a hold of the work that you produce, sort of photographs, digital work, working on the computer, all those things. Analog, okay, so traditional photography. The course, as I said previously, we do all things photography. So you learn just as much in the digital format, so shooting on a digital camera, editing on the computer, and we also do traditional processes. So you learn how photography started, and it gives you a greater understanding of how the camera works and how we got to where we were. So it does help you. So there will be certain assignments and certain tasks that you will have to do in the dark room, okay? And you can see there it says certain equipment that you need to buy. I don't want you to worry about that. I'm just sort of giving you a heads up of the sort of things that you might need to purchase. It will tell you when you need to get them and give you time, obviously, because things cost money. Other resources are obviously sketchbooks, display folders, you know, diaries, and that's all related to you recording your coursework, okay, your project, okay. So with that in mind, okay, I'm just going to give you sort of a very brief overview of how each year looks, okay. So in year one, what will I learn? Okay, so the first year is very much about getting to grips with and developing your art and design skills, okay, your visual language skills, your photography skills. You will learn everything photography, okay, through a variety of tasks, projects, presentations, practical work. We record in sketchbooks, record in blogs. You do produce presentations. There's lots of different ways in which we record to help you develop your skills and your creative work, basically, your photographic work. In the first year, you will learn a lot about visual language and communication, okay? So basically, that's looking at your own work, learning how to research, learning how to have an opinion on artwork, photography, looking at all the different types of photography, sort of movements and things like that, and the genres. So, you know, photojournalism, location, fine art, all of those things. You'll start to understand your own subject matter, okay? You'll also develop your practical and technical skills, okay? So when people come onto the course, they know lots of different, they've got different levels of ability. Some of you might understand a lot about the camera, some of you might know nothing at all, and that's fine, because that's what the first year is about. First year is like reset, and it's learning about camera control, understanding how as a photographer you manipulate light, additional processes, digital processes. You'll learn how to edit, You'll learn how to use a studio. You'll learn how to use studio professional lights. You'll understand how to manipulate natural lighting. All those things, that is what you'll kind of learn in the first year. So the most important thing is, well, how will I be assessed? Okay, so in the first year, and it's very similar in the second, you will be assessed across two units. Okay, and one is very, very big, and one is a lot smaller. Okay, in that first unit, that skills development, it's just what I've said. You'll learn everything through workshops, related projects and assignments, and it is very much getting to grips and honing and developing your creative skills, your photography skills. Okay, and then when that unit is finished, okay, we move on to something called the creative project, and basically you build and refine your skills in that unit, and basically you showcase what you've kind of learned in the first, probably the first 20 weeks of the first year. Okay, and you get to respond to a project, okay, from the initial ideas, from you know, generating ideas, researching, trying out loads of different things, all the way to the end, to the final piece of what, this is what my response is, this is how I would make this piece in response to whatever the project theme is. You will record your work in a variety of ways, as I said before, sketchbooks, files, blogs, PowerPoints, and that will all be relevant, and you'll be told that when you issue projects in those units. Your work will be marked and feedback given throughout each unit. Okay, so you'll be given feedback on how you're performing, certain set tasks, all those things. So it help you improve. That's the whole point. So we can help you get better. Okay, so that is ongoing all the way through. But at the end of the unit, you will be assessed against 5 key criteria. Okay, and these 5 key criteria follow you throughout the full 2 years. Okay, so how you have informed your ideas, can you problem solve, your technical skill, your photography skills, how have they got better, and how they are what you be assessed against. Professional practice, health and safety, the way you present your work, the way you talk about your work, and then 5, communication kind of wrapped up into professional practice. Okay, so how your work visually communicates, not just you talking about it, because it's not always about talking about your work, it's about the work that you've produced, the images, photographs, do they communicate? Okay, have you been successful? Okay, and those key 5 criteria are marked either pass, merit, or distinction. Okay, so I don't really want you to sort of get really worried or wrapped up in that. I'm just sort of giving you an idea, okay, of what you would and how you would be assessed. So in year 2, okay, similar in some ways, but you very much get to the point where you are advancing your creative practice. So in the first year, you've learned all these basic skills, you've developing confidence, and in the second year, it's very much about you honing them, okay, gaining a deeper understanding about your practice, okay, and we're moving from student to professionalism, okay, and very much as well about you finding what's next, okay. So professionalism, are you going to on to further study? Are you going to apply for apprenticeship? Do you want to start your own business? We have students who have done all of those things and continue to do those things with success over the last 4 or 5 years. So in the second year, again, 2 units again. Personal progression is what I've just said, very much helping you where you want to go. You will learn how to produce a portfolio and to showcase your best self, okay? That's what that personal progression unit is very much about. And the other one is creative industry response. So following a further period of skills, you know, learning other things and new things to do with photography in the studio, in the dark room, on location, You will then respond to a client's style brief, and you are kind of in charge with your teachers sort of helping you, okay? Because that's what it is. It's about the jump. It's about you being in control. And as with the first year, you'll record your work in a variety of ways. And again, there we go. Similar to first year's, marked work, feedback given throughout each unit at appropriate points. And there we go. We're back to those 5 criteria, okay? And I'm not going to go on about that because obviously I've just been through it, but it is the same through the first year, through the second year, okay? So what do you need to get onto the course, okay? So it is level 3. So you must be aged 16 and over, and you must have at least 4 GCSEs at grade 4, which is a C grade, and that must include, we would hope, some sort of art GCSE. So that could be graphics, that could even be textiles, it could be photography, it could be fine art. So there's lots of different ones. If you haven't actually got a GCSE in art, it's not the end of the world, it just sort of helps you. And those things can be sort of discussed, okay? To get on the level 3, you do need a GCSE in English or maths. We accept one or the other in those 4 GCSEs. It would be great if you had 2, both of them, but it is essential that you at least have 1, English preferably, okay? If you haven't obviously got GCSEs, we have some students that come through and at level 2 diploma, not necessarily in art and design, at merit grade and above. We accept that, again, along with a GCSE in English or maths, okay? So a lot of things there to sort of think about, okay? So if you do have any questions, okay, and I will put this up again at the end, okay, then don't be frightened to get in touch with me, okay? So my email is there. I have put the college phone number, but it's probably better at this point in the situation that we're in that it is you email me, okay? And I will always get back to you and answer you, okay? Just, you know, I've talked a lot about the course there, but I thought what would be quite nice for you is the next 10 or so slides, I'm just going to go through and show you, okay, the sort of work our students have done, okay, and there's a very big variety. So everything that you're seeing in this presentation, image-wise, actually are from students who have been on the course, okay, and are still on the course, I should say, because I've obviously got first years moving into the second year. Okay, so lots of different things. Okay, so this is students' work, very much location, editorial brief about farming life. Okay, and again, you can take any project brief, any theme, and you can make it interesting to what you're interested in. Okay, that's what it's about. It's about you as much as it is about a brief that we give you. Street photography. Okay, these are both film and digital. Okay, the student likes a lot of everyday street photography. I know they're on a bus in that particular image, in that set. That was responding to a project called People and Place. So he chose to focus on people and environment around Liverpool. Then we've got, you know, real contrast. This is like photo montage. It can be quite creative and fine art. This student's going on to a degree in graphic design, even though she did photography for 2 years. Film photography, landscape photography. This student, this is in response to Tell the Story. This 4 pieces about the elderly and loneliness, okay, living on your own. It's quite apt for this moment in time, I should say. So very much different responses and different approaches to photography. And then, you know, we do things for like campaigns. So this is a response to mind and mental health awareness. So student has done a lot of different things there, used the studio, She's done things in Photoshop and made quite a graphic and visual piece of work. It's a communication piece. Documentary again, looking at abandoned and left behind places. That's in Toxteth, I think, in Liverpool, as well as Knowsley. Advertising, okay, you learn how to use the studio, and we do that for different things, still life, like I say, commerce, advertising, portraiture. So these are all from an advertising unit, okay, and these are actually students' work. They're very professional, and all the skills that they've learned over the last few years. This is getting them industry ready. You know, these images here for advertising that they could actually take and get advertising photography work, basically. So different approaches and different ideas. Fashion, students who've done fashion in the past. This student's currently at Leeds School of Art, studying a degree in fashion photography. He's actually got work and worked with lots of people on Instagram. This is actually from advertising, actually, shops and what is it? A vintage store on Instagram. They saw her work, they approached her. She's got work out of that. She's one of their photographers now. This is first year work, fine art, photography and portraiture at home. This has been done during COVID. More fashion photography, documentary and street, their film. Okay, so they've been produced using a roll of film and printed in the darkroom. So's this. And you've got sort of like fine art approach, quite abstract. These things here, again, abstract, but again, learning how you can manipulate the camera and what it does. Location, landscape, bit of fine art and photo montage, and again, documentary. Okay, so there's quite a variety there of different things that the students have done on the course. Okay, so if you've got any questions, please don't obviously hesitate to put some info or ask questions when I hand you back to Bethan in a minute. But if you've not applied, okay, but you think you're interested in applying, there is obviously a link there, and I know Bethan's already shared it. You know, get online, fill in an application form, and then we'll be sort of in touch. Okay, so here's my details just again. If you want to write down my email address, if there's anything that you want to ask me, please feel free, and I'll get back to you. Okay, so I hope I gave you some insight, and I will now hand you back to Bethan, if that's okay.
Okay, thank you. So hopefully Emma's covered everything there. Obviously there was quite a lot of information for you to take in, so if you're unsure on anything, or if you've got any questions or anything like that, at the bottom of your screen there's a Q&A and a chat button. If you want to just pop any messages in there, we'll give you a couple of seconds to just pass any over. I know Emma's covered quite a lot there, and it was nice to see some student work and that sort of thing, to see what you might be doing if you join the course with us. So just give you a couple of seconds now. Any questions, pop them into one of those chats and we can answer them for you. No, doesn't seem to be anything coming in. Maybe you've covered everything, which is good. What I'll do then, I'll type, Emma, sorry, what's your email again? Is it just edun@St Helens?
Yeah, .ac.uk.
edun@sthelens.ac.uk. I've popped Emma's email address, and I'll put the admissions email address into the chat facility. So if there's anything that you think later on you should have asked a question, at least you've got our contact details there. So admissions details. Yeah, so just in the chat box at the bottom, if you want to make a note, or if you're on your phone, if you want to screenshot them or something, and then you've got our contact details then. because no one's asking any questions, which is fine. Maybe Emma's covered everything. You might just be shy and you might not want to speak up. If there's anything you think of, you've got our details there, so please feel free to contact us and we can answer any questions. So following this session today, you will get an email just to thank you for attending, and it'll have some information on there. So hopefully you'll find that useful, and shortly we should be able to contact you with some information and updates on our enrolment as well, which will start from GCSE results day, which is the 20th of August. Okay, so thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you, Emma, for doing your presentation. It was really useful, and by the looks of things, with no questions, they must have found it really useful too. All that's left for us to say really is thank you for joining. Good luck with your GCSE results, and we look forward to welcoming you to St Helens College in September. Okay, thanks everyone. Thanks, Emma. Bye.